Hi, I'm John Leonard. I'm a corporate lawyer with Fairfield and Woods, Denver, Colorado. Today we get to talk to one of my partners, Gil Selinger. Gil's a corporate and securities lawyer, does a lot of things. One of the things he does is buy and sell, help clients buy and sell food and beverage establishments. So liquor license is an important part of Gil's practice. Gil, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, John. Excited to talk to you about this topic.
Well, I'm looking at this slide. I didn't know there were different types of liquor licenses. How many are there, and really how many do we need to worry about, I guess is what I want to know.
So in Colorado, there's 14 different types of liquor licenses. Some of them are a little bit esoteric and used for very specific purposes, like a bed and breakfast license. But the biggest ones that we deal with in our practice on a day-to-day basis are generally hotel and restaurant licenses, tavern licenses, liquor store licenses, of which there's two. One is for a retail liquor store, and one is sort of the old school model where a drugstore sells alcohol. That's a licensed drugstore. And then the last is a fermented malt beverage license, which is generally the kind of license that a grocery store or a market or other kinds of businesses like that, where they would be selling alcohol for consumption off premises would take place.
All right. So why do people have to apply for a license? Is it complicated? What's the process?
So yeah, I mean, first of all, you have to go through this list of 14 and talk to somebody like me to figure out exactly what you want to do.
Yeah.
Some of the differences between if you're a bar or a restaurant and you're just wanting to get a liquor license, some of the differences between one license or another might be what kind of food are you serving and how long or how much food you're serving, because the idea is you don't want people to drink too much. You might be looking at issues like what hours are you keeping, or do you want live music? All of those things change what permit or what license you're applying for. And so first you got to analyze all that and figure out whether you're applying for the right license, and then going from there. And it does get complicated. You'd think that you just fill out an application and send it in and you're going to get a liquor license, but there's a whole bunch of other steps you have to go through, including getting a zoning permit to make sure that the premises you're looking at is zoned okay to have something that's selling alcohol, whether it's a liquor store or a restaurant or a bar. Then there's a bunch of tax things that you have to do, forms you have to file with the state and with the county to make sure that you have the right sales and use tax licenses. Then you have to show the lease or the deed that gives you the right to open the liquor store. So people get way ahead of the ball with buying or selling a restaurant or buying and selling a liquor store, and they think that they're just going to go ahead and start applying for the license when they haven't finished the transaction, and maybe they don't have a lease for the space. Maybe they haven't finished buying the building. If you haven't done that, you can't apply for a liquor license.
No. Start to end typically. What is this? A week, a month, 6 months, a year? What are we talking about?
I think it usually takes a month or two to get the whole application done. It can be done on a very accelerated basis, and we're always ready to help our clients if they want to sit down and hit the ground running. One of the other things that takes some time is getting the proper architectural drawings, and the architectural drawings that you might already have for building out space have to have specific colors and diagrams about where the alcohol is going to be stored, where it's going to be served. Those kinds of things. So there are all these very nuanced requirements that you've got to meet for the various. First, you apply with the county that you live in, and then the county approves or denies your application, and then it sends it on to the state. If it's a new application, you might end up, you're going to have a lot more analysis going on. When I am in a mergers and acquisitions world and looking at buying and selling restaurants or liquor stores, the transfer application is a little bit simpler than a brand new application.
Because it's already been approved once.
Yes. So in that kind of situation, they're already fine with the premises. They know that the building's okay. They know the zoning's okay. So then they just have to go back through and look at the people. And there's a big background check and fingerprinting and a whole bunch of stuff that goes into whether or not the person that's applying can be properly licensed.
Well, interesting to know. Is there a hearing? I mean, if I applied, do I end up before some board and they grill me, or what happens?
Yeah, if you're applying for a new license, you're going to end up with a hearing in front of the applicable liquor licensing
Oh,
authority or the liquor licensing board in the applicable county in Colorado. Generally, in those hearings, it's the burden of the applicant to prove that the neighborhood or the location that they're applying to open this restaurant or this liquor store, whatever, you have to be able to show that the neighborhood and the community that it's serving needs and
yeah.
wants the license. And there's a
Well,
whole laundry list of what it means to need and want the license, but some of it also includes that you might have to go out and hire a company to petition the neighborhood, see if
yeah.
people are in favor of it or aren't. You might have
Well,
to, and some people might show up at your hearing to support your license, and somebody who's disgruntled might show up to oppose it. But
yeah. Well, good to know. It sounds like it's complicated. You would help prep somebody for one of these hearings, choosing the right license. And I know I walked past your open door enough that I know you do a lot of this. So thanks for joining us today, Gil.
And no, it's no problem. And I will tell you that I've been in enough liquor licensing hearings where people think they can get through this all themselves, and then they end up with a really red face in front of the liquor licensing
Yeah,
authority when they can't answer the questions that that somebody who's represented by counsel
right.
might be able to do.
Well, good to know. Thanks, Gil.
Thanks.